this election doesn't matter, think again. Gay marriage came up last night at the debate, and Newt Gingrich says he'll go so far as to sign Don't Ask, Don't Tell back into law. I'm going to get a chance to speak with Snyder-Hill straight ahead. He is the soldier who was booed at another infamous Republican debate. We'll get his opinion on that, where he thinks.
You were running in Massachusetts, you took liberal positions. Running now as president, you take more conservative positions. Is that principle, or is it just politics, sir?
Well, I'll begin by taking exception with your list there. I did change my...
Which one?
Gay rights.
Well,
I'm firmly in support of people not being discriminated against based upon their sexual orientation. At the same time, I oppose same-sex marriage. That's been my position from the beginning.
Social issues took center stage during parts of last night's Republican debate, but it wasn't the first time that LGBT equality was infused into the conversation. Remember this?
In 2010, when I was deployed to Iraq, I had to lie about who I was because I'm a gay soldier, and I didn't want to lose my job. My question is, under one of your presidencies, do you intend to circumvent the progress that's been made for gay and lesbian soldiers in the military?
All right, so the soldier from that video, Snyder-Hill, joins me now. Stephen, it's nice to have you with me this morning. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Thomas.
I want to start with Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That is a signature accomplishment for President Obama. Here is how Newt Gingrich would handle that issue. Take a listen.
I don't think in the military that you particularly want sexual behavior to be an overt issue.
So you would not have wanted that repealed?
I would not have wanted it repealed.
Would you try and reinstate it?
I would sign reinstating it, sure.
Would you actively work to get it reinstated?
Well, I would encourage the Congress to pass reinstating it, and I suspect the next Congress will pass reinstating it.
Stephen, when you hear something like that, what does it say to you about Newt Gingrich and the Republicans, especially when it comes to military operations, obviously after the successful implementation, the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell? What does it say to you?
It tells me that they probably don't really understand what Don't Ask, Don't Tell was really about. Don't Ask, Don't Tell for me was hiding pictures in my own house. That's what I had to do under that policy. So there's nothing about behavior in this at all. It's not about behavior. Nobody's asking for different conduct. We're just asking not to be kicked out. I'm a human being, and when you're talking to an auditorium full of people, you don't really understand that you're talking about a human being. You're talking about hiding pictures and hiding your whole life from people.
Mitt Romney has his own ideas on marriage. Basically now a three-tiered system maintaining marriage rights for straight couples, allowing gays who have already married to remain married, basically grandfathered in. But barring future same-sex marriages, Romney wants to win over, obviously, independent voters, Stephen, as a nominee. So how out of touch do you think a system like that is, especially for someone like yourself? You're married, correct?
I am married. I got married on my R&R from Iraq. I came home and married my husband during my R&R from Iraq. What it tells me is just that I don't even understand. It sounds so confusing. I don't even understand how they could implement something so complicated with marriage. I think that all we want is to be married like everybody else. We want the same system. You know, they say that they don't want to discriminate, but then turn around and say that they're against same-sex marriage. So isn't that a form of discrimination? I mean, we just want the same thing.
I want to talk to you about this because Ron Paul has served in the military, and he talked about service as well as Speaker Gingrich right before the debate. Take a listen to this.
In the 1960s, when I was drafted, in the military, he got several deferments. He chose not to go. Now he'll send our kids to war. But at that time, he said that one person wouldn't make a difference. He didn't know how he could make a difference.
Stephen, with the successful repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, do you think that statements like this from Newt Gingrich are hurtful, especially to the military, those that would be straight allies to their gay and lesbian brothers that are serving in the military currently, as well as their family members?
I do think that they're hurtful because I don't think that anybody understands, except soldiers in the military, how it affects the military. And I can tell you that my own personal experience, it was 100% positive. The military was awesome. It was just, I went to work on the 20th of September, and I did nothing else different than I've ever done the 20 years I've been in, the same as every other man and woman that is in the military right now. We did the same job just like we always do. The only difference is the day of the 20th, we didn't have to worry that we would lose our job. That's it.
Obviously, courage is not something that's in question for you. It took a lot of courage to submit that question that you did from Iraq to the Republican debate. Then you got booed. What was your reaction to that? How did that make you feel?
Well, initially when the booing happened, just like anybody else, I thought, did I do something wrong? I didn't think that what I was doing was wrong. I just asked the question because I was really worried that a lot of people would come out, and then what would happen if a different president got in and would try to reinstate the repeal? And so I felt like somebody needed to step up and ask that question. Initially, I tried to do it with anonymity and not divulge my identity, but it came back, and then they asked me to, say who I was. So it did take a little bit of courage, but I think that the question really needed to be asked.
Well, Stephen, thank you for your service to this country. Congratulations on your marriage, and I really do appreciate you joining me this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Thomas.
All right, here's a look.